Hello, good afternoon everybody. Today I'll continue as your previous lessons. Today is third lesson on statistics. We already explained in lesson 1 the concept of statistics, lesson 2 collection of data. Then I talked about scrutinization of data. Today I'll try to present or try to talk about presentation of data, and let's see how can we present data, which is very important part of statistical methods. Presentation of data. Presentation of data is not only presentation of data. Nowadays we talk about presentation of anything. You can present yourself, you can present your paper. Paper means when you talk about on certain topics, especially in slideshow, in form of computer, that is also kind of presentation. Maybe my lecture, my way of explanation, teaching through this video lecture is itself a presentation. And I am talking about presentation through my presentation. My presentation through my presentation. Presentation of data through my presentation. Okay. Presentation of data we can do in 3 forms, either of the 3 forms: textual presentation, tabular presentation, and diagrammatic presentation. Diagrammatic may be graphs or charts. Again, textual presentation is nothing but presentation of data in the form of texts. That is, text means generally in the form of reports. When I talk about texts, it is actually reports. Make a report, prepare a report, report writing. When we read the newspapers, it is also a kind of reports. Okay. So reports, so many text, words, sentences are there. Do you know, few sentences together, a poem. Poem is a presentation. Presentation of your feelings, your thoughts in the form of texts. Here also, when data are presented in the form of text, in the form of reports, that will speak about itself. That is textual presentation. Once we understand textual presentation, I can take an example. You know it. It's not difficult. If you know it, just see if I say, you are 3rd semester student in college. Imagine in our college there are right now 2 semesters. You 3rd semester, another batch of 5th semester, and forthcoming semester, that is called semester 1, who will be admitted or in the process of admission. I came to know through conversation with our HOD and Dean of Students, the Dean of Arts, I came to know that we are expecting 30 students to be admitted this year, expecting. Maybe a little less, maybe a little more. I assume right now 35 in first semester. In your batch, third semester, now you are 17 or 18 students. Fifth semester, they are around now 37, 38 students. 37. What I said? I presented data for fifth semester, 37, third semester, 17, forthcoming first semester, 30. Again, there may be division among the students. You 13, 17 students, maybe there are 10 girls, 7 boys. Similarly, fifth semester, suppose 20 or 22 girls, 15 boys. And forthcoming first semester, suppose it is around say 18, 17 students, girls, and the remaining 13, 14 students, boys. This data, how can you present in the form of a report? How can you present in the form of a report? We can say that the report is like this. Suppose you are the writer of the report, or I am the writer of the report. I can write different language, you can write in different language, she can write in different language, she can write or he can write in different language, but you have to write a report. Let us do it. So for example, data like this, semester 1, 30, out of 30 girls, suppose 17 and 13 girls, boys. Semester 2, third, it is you are now 17, out of that maybe suppose 10 and 7, semester 5, that is 37, out of that 37, suppose say 22 and 15. These are data you have. You have to present in the form of a report. You have to present in the form of a report. What we can say that third year, 3 years, 2 years before, when our CBCS system began, we got in our roll strength or register 37 or little more students. I forward that maybe 40 plus students. Unfortunately, next year we got much less, around 20. Then this year we are expecting a spurt in the number to 30. And surprisingly, we are happy to announce the number of girls in every batch exceeds the number of boys, which may be completely opposite to the scenario in other colleges in plains. This indicates, or this represents, that women are in a sense, privileged here in hills compared to their counterparts in the plains. I am talking with these reports. What are the reasons behind that? You can find the reasons that in 2 years before, when our session begins, we got some students of old system of education, part 1, part 2, part 3, who were in part 1 that time. Many of them left their old system and joined the new system. That's why number increased so high. Second semester means last year when we took the admission, that time also we are surprised to get such a small number, around 20, though we are expecting around 25 plus. This is beyond our expectation. But this year we are happy to announce that there will be a spot rise in the number, maybe due to COVID-19. The students, they don't want to go outside their hometown or home district. That may be a reason. This is textual presentation of data. Some words, some figures, some explanation, and especially where I, being a writer, want to highlight, want to pinpoint a particular point. If I want, I can do it. If there is a better teacher than me, better reporter than me, he can perhaps decorate by using more appropriate language, more appropriate words, more lucidly, more better manner. It is possible. It varies from writer to writer, presenter to presenter. This is the problem, this is the advantage of textual presentation. What is the advantage? Advantage of the textual presentation is that the writer, if he or she wants, can highlight, can attract the attention of the reader to a particular thing. He can twist to his or her favor. This is the beauty. Maybe this is disadvantage. Oh, writer is writing the report in such a manner that it goes in favor of him or it goes against him. What about the way you look at it? This is the beauty. Or this is the disadvantage. This is the demerits. Okay. Another point I like to add, I like to talk about, I am talking about now merits. We are talking about merits and demerits. Merits and demerits of textual presentation. Textual presentation, as I told you, the way it is represented, textual presentation have or you can say are useful. Textual presentations are liked by or useful to such people who have a kind of literary mind, who who have a kind of little bent on mind, meaning the people who are not only highly educated must have a literary sense, a bent on mind. To them, textual presentation is interesting. Or those people who have little bent of mind like the textual presentation of data. Those people who like elegance, who like style, who like the beauty, the essence. Because the people who find elegance, beauty, stylishness, style in presentation, to them textual presentation is very attractive, interesting, or they like textual presentation. Those who do not like drabness, boring, meaning drabness of table. I'll explain the table. Drabness of table or diagrammatic presentation, those who do not like, to them textual presentation is liked, it's better, good. Okay. And another point is that, as I told you, that writer can attract to a particular point if the writer wants attention of the reader to particular points or highlight. That I tell you, this is the merit of the textual presentation. At the same time, it may be the demerit if you think. This is one. And next is that, next another point I like to say, just see what I remember. Yes, demerit. Now we talk about demerits. Yes. If you want to present large mass of data, then textual method is not good, not useful. Large mass of data, large quantity of data generally cannot be presented by textual format. Okay. Another demerit is that if a large number of comparisons are to be made, then also textual presentation is not good, or textual presentation is not preferred. Or if large number of points are to be mentioned, especially yes, if attention is to be drawn to a large number of points, then also textual presentation is not preferable. In case of long textual statement, another problem, when you are writing report, pages after pages, when long textual statement, you cannot avoid some repetition of some explanatory notes or repetition of some points. So that may be boring also. That's why repetition of some explanatory materials cannot be avoided. In consequence, the reader may find the report boring. So I talked about merits and demerits of textual presentation of data. Okay, merits and demerits. Now I talk about tabular presentation data. Of data. What is that? Now, this is presentation in the form of a table. Presentation in the form of table containing number of rows and columns. Containing containing number of rows and columns. This is not a table where we write or on which we write or we dine, that we take our food, not high bench, okay, not desk. This is a table means I'll show. Table means like this. A number of rows and columns like this. This may be termed as a table where there are a number of rows and columns, and we present data in that form, in different boxes. Okay, so tabular presentation is nothing but presentation of data in the form of a table which contains a number of rows and columns. Okay. Now, what is table? As I have shown you, a table shows a number of rows and columns. And interestingly, if you are asked to represent the same data which I dictated or expressed in number words like this, semester 1, semester 2, semester 3 and semester 5 in the form of a table, it can be. One of them can be like this. It may be like this. Suppose this is side semester 1, 3 and 5. And this side sex of the students, that is girls and boys. Okay, first semester, how many girls? First semester 17 and 13. 17 girls and 13 boys. Third semester 10 and 7. Semester 5 22 and 15. And total this is 37, 13, 30, 17, 37. This is a table. And this table we can write a title. You can say role strength of economics department. Role strength of economics department. See? Okay. St. Joseph's College, I can mention that. Definitely St. Joseph's College, if I mention, is the table. And there should be number, since it is I think for the last 3 sessions I am using the first time, I can give the number table 1. Table 1. I can give the number. Okay. And here I can write here footnote source of data, that is departmental register. Departmental register. Departmental register from which I took the data. Okay. What I said? This is a table. This is a table through which I represented data of our role strength in different semesters economics department. This is called tabular presentation. This is called tabular presentation. Okay, fine. Now we have to remember that there are different parts of a table. There are different parts of a table that we have to know, and in exam question comes, in interview questions are asked that how many parts of a table are there and what are those parts. So here I mentioned different parts of a table. Different parts of a table. Okay. What are the different parts of the table? That is very, very important questions and things you have to understand. Not difficult, nothing. Don't worry about it. Nothing difficult. What is that? Different parts of a table. First, different parts of a table. Different parts of the table. Number one, title. Title. What is title? What is title? In Bengali, our name, first name, middle name, last name. In Bengali, last name indicates the title. In my case, my name, last name is Sanbigrahi. This is my title. Okay. Similarly, it is true for all of you. You also get someone Chetri, someone Guru, someone what is it called? Agarwal, Sinha, Ghisin, maybe different names. Sarma. Okay. These are titles. Titles gives you, in our case, the kind of the class or caste you are belonging to. It describes something about you, right? Similarly, in case of a table, title here, role strength of economics, St. Joseph's College. That gives the description of the contents. Description of your title gives a description of you. Title of a table gives the description of the contents of a table. So, title, it gives a description. It gives description of the contents of a table. Okay, and generally a number is assigned to a table for future ready reference. For future ready reference. Okay? This is the title. The top on the head of a table. It gives a description of the contents of a table. It lies above the table. You can say it lies above the table. Second part, extreme left part, this part, extreme left part, okay, this part, this extreme left part, this extreme, you can say this extreme left part, this part is called star. Extreme left part of the table is called star. Extreme left part which describes different rows which describe different rows, that is called star of a table. And this part, the topmost part of the table, topmost part, this is called caption, not captain, caption, topmost part of the table. 3. Caption. Topmost part of a table describing different columns is called caption. Topmost part of a table describing different columns. These three together are called box head. Box head. These three together is called box head. Okay? And fourth part is the main part. This is main part where the data are there. So main part of the body. What is it? That this is the part which contains the data. This is the main part which contains data. This is the main part. And the fifth, last part, fifth, last part, yes, last part, that is called footnote. This is the footnote, last part. Footnote. This is generally shown on the below the table. This is generally shown below the table. Generally shown below the table. It shows or it represents or it gives shows the sources of data. Sources of data and any explanatory notes. Explanatory notes of data. Okay? So what we have explained, that is footnote, sources of data here. Right? So we have right now explained what is tabular presentation, its different parts. Now we'll talk about merits and demerits of tabular presentation. Merits and demerits of tabular presentation. You have to remember. Tabular presentation in general is better than textual presentation. Better than. Even diagrammatic presentation is better than tabular presentation in general. But depending on the circumstances, depending on the nature of data, depending on the topic, what kind of presentation you like or be best, it depends on that. You cannot say this is the best only. Sometimes altogether text, table, graphs are there for best presentation. Meaning some writing should be there, table should be there, also its graphs should be there or diagram should be there. Then that would be the best presentation. So we cannot say that way. Compartmentalization we cannot say. But still if we like to compare, which one is better? Textual or tabular? The generally tabular presentation is better in the sense why? If you want, actually the demerits of textual presentations are mitigated here in the table. Meaning, whatever the demerits there, you won't find those here. Say for example, large mass of data presentation is difficult, boring, in case of textual presentation, but here in the form of table, yes, we can present large amounts of data, and not only that, if you want to compare the data, that is also feasible and more easily it can be done for comparison. Especially column-wise comparison can be done easily, data, which is not possible in case of textual presentation. Comparison. Okay, large amounts of data presentation, comparison, many comparisons, and many points if you want to lay, that also can be done here in tabular presentation. Yes, only thing is that it's like a skeleton. No flesh and blood. You can add flesh and blood to eat through textual presentation, lucidity, language. As I told you, in case of textual presentation, the language may be such that it may be attracted to the people with literary bent of mind. Those who like elegance, like style, like beauty, like smoothness, softness. To them, textual presentation is preferable. But when you are talking about large amounts of data, tabular presentation is better. This is one point. Another point, comparison is possible. Let me see whether I am missing anything. Just a minute, yes. This is one thing. Another thing is that yes. Just a minute. Just a minute. Yes, I remember. Yes. What is that? If errors and omissions, if mistakes are there, those can be easily detected in the table representation. Why? Suppose here if I write 12. If I write 12, then easily you can detect, oh, total is not matching. Then there is something wrong either here or here. Or here. Maybe some error is there, which is we can detect through your eyes. Right? That's why errors and omission, if any, that can be easily detected through the table representation. So this is the merits of table representation. Demerits means, as I told you, table has a trapness. Okay. Now till now what I talked about textual representation, I talked about tabular representation, what they are, merits and demerits of each presentation. Then another thing is that I already talked about different parts of a table. Another thing I was forgetting, just I came to my mind right now. Certain points you have to keep in mind when constructing a table. When you are constructing a table, those points you have to mind. Okay, number one. Points to be remembered when constructing a table. Points to be remembered when you are constructing a table. What are that? Number one, a table should be balanced, well balanced in length and breadth. A table should be balanced in length and breadth. What is the meaning? Meaning is that a table should not be too long in height or too wide. A table should not be too wide or too long in height. A table should not be. The meaning, it should be balanced. It should be balanced in length and breadth. They should be balanced. Why? Argument is that if you want to represent large mass of data in a single table, having it is too long or too wide, it is preferable or it is better, if possible, to have two or more tables instead of one. This is the point. Okay, if you represent all data in a single table, distinction, what is called that? You cannot detail, clumsy, too much data. That may not represent what you want to represent through them. That's why it is better to have two or more tables in place of one when you find a table getting too long or too wide. Okay? And next point is that, another point, I'm just mentioning, another point if you remember that, which I told you in case of textual presentation, that you have to follow a logical sequence. You have to follow a logical sequence when you are arranging the data. Here in the case of this table, in this table, you have to follow a chronology, a logical sequence when you are arranging the data. Especially if we arrange time series data, they should be chronological order. Okay, suppose here we are presenting these are girls, boys. In such a manner, certain logical sequence must be. This is total, section wise. This is semester wise, girls, boys, total. This logical sequence, and in many cases, logical sequence must be maintained. Okay, that is one. And another point is that the data to be compared. Suppose say here, girls, boys. 17, 12, 10, 7, 22, 15. We are comparing girls with boys. But mind it, here the comparison is horizontal. Along the semester, 30, 17, 37. This is vertical. So we should place the data for convenient comparison in such a manner that they are easily comparable. Especially vertical comparison is preferred to horizontal comparison. So if you want to comparison the semesters, they should be compared vertically. If you want to compare the girls and boys, they should be placed vertically. Vertical comparison is better than horizontal comparison. Okay, so you can place the data in the table, keeping in mind what you are going to compare, how to place them horizontally or vertically. And there must be logical sequence. Everywhere logical sequence must be maintained. Okay. This is tabular presentation. Some points to remember in constructing table. And last, I am talking diagrammatic presentation. I think I should take a separate session for diagrammatic presentation, different forms of diagrams, graphs, different forms. I think I should take it on a different session. You must interact with me, raise your questions, you make your comments. I am available on WhatsApp, on telephone. Please contact me. I hope it is enjoyable. You point out my demerits, you can say, and suggest me to make you understand better. Thank you very much for your patient hearing.